Hello, and welcome to this overview of the research undertaken as part of the project supporting neurodivergent students with professional dialogue in work-based learning settings. Our thanks to our funders, Scotland's Tertiary Enhancement Programme, and thanks also to them for their ongoing support. Our research team consisted of myself, Faye Hendry, as well as Dr. Colin Christie, Nadia Ishmailova, Leanne Marriott, Florence Roberts, and Alison Young. We are a mixture of professional services staff and academic staff and students from the University of Aberdeen and from North East Scotland College. In terms of the aims of our research, we wanted to gain insights into the experiences of neurodivergent students on placements, particularly in relation to professional dialogue. By professional dialogue, we mean the kinds of conversations that students might have with their colleagues and mentors on placement, whether these are informal conversations or more structured meetings that they might have to discuss their progress. We wanted then to use these insights to inform the development of a toolkit of resources for tertiary educators, for placement providers, and for neurodivergent students to help enhance their experience on placement. Our goal then was to make these resources available and to start to evaluate their usefulness. In terms of our research approach and methods, we wanted to make use of a participatory action research model that aims to involve those who tend to benefit from the outcomes of the research. We obtained ethical approval from the University of Aberdeen. We undertook a series of focus groups and interviews, and we chose this method to allow participants to share their perceptions. In terms of our eligibility requirements, we wanted to involve neurodivergent students who had undertaken placements, and mentors and tutors who support them in tertiary education or in placement settings. Our participants included 5 students from the University of Aberdeen, 4 students from NESCOL, 7 tutors from the University of Aberdeen, 7 tutors from NESCOL, and 1 local authority placement provider. Our focus groups and interviews were audio recorded and transcribed. We then coded and thematized the data using a grounded theoretical approach. This was an important area of research for us because we recognise that students experience a range of benefits from their placements and they bring a range of benefits to their placements, but they also experience challenges. And one of the things that one of our student participants communicated to us is on screen just now. They explained, going into a new environment can be severely overwhelming because I know I'm a little bit different in the way that I function, and when I first meet people, it takes people a while to get to really understand me, I think. In terms of our findings, we identified a range of key themes from the data. At the top was a key theme that we were keen to centre, and that is what neurodivergent individuals bring to their roles. And there was much in the data about the benefits that students gain from and bring to placement. Other key themes included challenges around communication. Some student participants identified that they found it difficult to engage with feedback from their mentors on placement. In particular, this was sometimes because of a lack of clarity about next steps, or because that they engage with feedback in different formats to greater or lesser extents. This identified one of the sub-themes around the benefits of varied and flexible communication strategies, as well as the need for clear, structured, and actionable feedback. Another significant area in our findings was around disclosure and discussion of neurodivergence. Many of our tutor participants highlighted that they felt students benefited when they disclosed their neurodivergence on placement. However, some student participants identified that they found this challenging for a range of reasons, or that they anticipated negative reactions to their neurodivergence. This enabled us to identify the sub-themes that you can see here in the green, including, for example, the need for greater understanding and acceptance of neurodivergence, which was a frequent point raised in the data. We also identified the key theme of building and experiencing relationships in placement, and in particular the benefit of supportive and communicative mentor relationships. There were lots of different points in the data also related to the next theme, supporting neurodivergent students with their placements. The data surfaced that there are significant differences in support across different placement settings, and this highlighted and it was articulated that there is a need for better neurodiversity training and support resources. And lastly, some other challenges neurodivergent students may face on placement were surfaced in the data, including, for example, sensory processing and some other challenges that some of the participants communicated to us. As an example, you can see here on screen one of our key themes, one of the example codes that underpinned it, and an example quotation from the data to exemplify that code. The key theme exemplified here is building and experiencing relationships on placement, and the code in the data was around the benefit of supportive and communicative mentor relationships. An example quotation which identified this code was, "When you are supported, I felt as if my wings were unclipped and I could just fly, and I felt safe, to be able to do that and to be able to perform to a higher standard than before." In this extract, the student participant was discussing ways in which their mentor enabled them to feel safe and to perform to the best of their ability on placement. In terms of implications from our research, the data analysis confirms that there is a need to provide targeted support to neurodivergent students, particularly with professional dialogue in placement contexts. There can be real uncertainty and anxiety when expectations are unclear. There can also be significant challenges around the giving and receiving of feedback. Feedback and guidance from mentors should be clear, structured, and actionable. There are also implications around understanding neurodiversity, particularly to support students in disclosing and discussing their neurodivergence, should they choose to do so. And alongside this sits the need for greater awareness and acceptance of neurodiversity. Another key implication here is the importance of communication between tertiary educators and partner placement providers to ensure clarity of expectations are communicated from all angles. Finally then, our toolkit. The toolkit on the STEP website has been informed by our gathered data and by feedback that we were lucky to receive at the STEP conference. The toolkit aims to outline some possible guidance, potential resources, approaches and principles which neurodivergent students, tertiary educators and placement providers may find useful. They are free for you to use, and they can be downloaded and adapted and changed and tweaked for use in your context and in your setting. We recognise that placement settings are all very different and that you may wish to adapt the resources to meet the needs of your students and your colleagues. If you have any queries or feedback around our research or around the toolkit materials, please feel free to email me or make use of any of the other communication methods outlined here. Thank you for listening to this overview.